Sup, dude? What's up? Good morning, y'all. Good morning. We back at it with another one. Uncle B here. Let's go. Guys, we have a super exciting day today. I'm probably going to end up filming this in throughout several days because it's a working day for me. I usually work the evenings. I'm not exactly sure how long it's going to take me, but just got in from UPS, new bike day. Let's go. I'm going to explain to you guys what route I went with, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Here we go. All right, y'all, we're going to try something a little bit different today. I wanted to explain to you guys what my thought process was with the new bike and everything, and which route I went with. But I didn't want to just stand in front of the camera this morning because I have way too much to do before I have to go to work. So I'm going to take you guys with me while I do some things around the house, and we're gonna go from there, baby. So here's basically my thought process. So I got a lot of friends, as you guys have seen. I've been getting into this pit bike scene quite a bit lately. Last year I focused on just riding and just getting back into shape. I could have raced a little bit, but there were some local races that basically the situation was, you guys have seen me ride at Joliet MX quite a bit. That's my local track here. If you guys are new to the channel, I live about 50 minutes south of Chicago, and my local track here in Illinois is Joliet MX. So with that being said, they race, you know, the way that they race out there is it seems like it's the same way that all these other tracks race in terms of like format wise. They got like an A class, a B class, things of that nature. C all the way down to 450s, all the way down to your 50s, your electric bikes, Stasics, and things of that nature. And then they have two pit bike classes, which they don't focus on that too much, and it's hit or miss. So they got a stock and mod class, and I'm going to do a better job this year of reaching out to like Planet Minis 2.0. I think that's the forum on Facebook. And, just trying to get people together to go and race, because I don't want to make a 30-minute trip out there and have like two people out there, racing. So that's the reason, one of the main reasons why I decided not to race this past year. But I want to change that. I want to ride and race and do the whole thing this year and really focus on pit biking. And I have some other plans in the mix, but we'll see. I don't want to overstep and jump the gun and everything. So anyways, I'm kind of getting off topic. So with my idea of racing, I wanted to kind of kick around the idea of I thought about doing something to you guys know I've been riding a bone stock TTR 110. It's a 24 bone stock TTR 110. And I don't know if I've talked about this too much, guys, but I'm a smaller dude. I'm 5'7", weighing in about like $150. And I think the max weight capacity excuse me, on a bone stock, on a 110, whether it's Yamaha, Honda, Kawi, whatever, I think the weight capacity on something like that is like 130. So obviously you do the math, I'm exceeding it by 20 pounds. It's not that big of a deal. The suspension's been fine. But with that being said, I have been kind of taking it easy in a way. You come up and case a few jumps, on that stock suspension, it's not going to feel too good. So I've been thinking about and kicking around, been doing a lot of research on what to do in terms of like just minor limited, mods and stuff like that. I don't want to go too crazy. I got a bunch of friends that have literally spent just as much, if not more, on mods with their bikes as they have on like just purchasing the bike, itself. So I'm like, oh man, like you guys know, the whole, one of my, my whole intention with this channel, I have multiple ideas like going into this, is that I want to show you guys that you guys can do this. Yeah, I'm not going to say that it's cheap by any means, but you don't have to spend as much money on this sport as you think you might need to. You just, honestly, if you could just get away from the idea of making things look super nice and fancy, you're going to save yourself a ton of money. And this is basically coming from, like, you know, from someone who doesn't have a ton of experience with like mods and stuff like that, but I've been around, again, a lot of people who have decided to go this route. And it's just, you know, there's obviously with anything, there's like a ton of different options and routes that you can go with. But for keeping things cheap, guys, I really do think that, you know, if you just were to look at everything from a standpoint of just, does it function? Does the bike do everything that you want it to do for the most part, without, you know, the bike looking super fancy? Now, mind you, you know, as the fellow Americans, we all like our nice things, and don't get me wrong, like I like nice things too, but I also, my priority with purchases is, you know, first and foremost, does the bike handle and do the things that I need it to do? Now, I know you can go in a million different routes with that, you know. And if it's not handling and doing the things that you need it to do, well, you know, or like, you know, in this case, if you're a bigger guy or girl, whatever, you might need to upgrade the suspension. You might need to upgrade, you know, the motor and mod the motor anyway, and do all of that. So it really depends on, I feel like, your body type. And it's the one advantage of being a little dude, man. I feel like you don't have to do as much of that. And again, I could probably go and race, which I plan on racing that stock 110, and keeping it the way that it is, and just replacing parts as I go, and if, you know, when I need to. So that's the whole route and the idea that I've been kind of kicking around. But then there are times, with that being said, there are times where, you know, I feel like I could use a little bit, you know, of the suspension aspect. And I'm like, I want to race not only the stock class, but I also want to race the modded class. So I'm like, do I want to get another bike and go that route and, you know, spend a ton of time in the garage and mod bikes? And which, don't get me wrong, guys, like, I am someone who I want to learn more of this. I know the basics of what's going on, but I haven't really done any project bikes or anything like that. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of cleaning up my mess this morning from breakfast. I know the basics of what's going on, but I'm like, do I want to spend all of my time, not all of my time, but a lot of time? You guys see that I have a ton of interest in whatnot, traveling, you know, just at work and, you know, just everyday life. And, you know, it's just kind of crazy, man. Like, to be able to focus on exercising and doing all these things, and then wrenching as much as I see people wrenching, it's like, okay, well, I got to weigh my options out. So my thinking was that I've been really trying to focus on this channel and see, like, which route and direction I'd like to go with. And I know you pit bike guys out there are really going to cringe when I say this, and I understand. I totally get it. And I'd love to hear your guys' comments below in regards to all of this on this topic. But I have decided to go the electric route. I know. You guys are probably cringing inside right now. And I get it. I totally get it. So I decided to go the electric route, and we're sticking with the pit bike scene again. I'm really trying to focus on the scene. I just love these small bikes, and I really love the idea behind taking a slow bike and trying to ride it as fast as humanly possible, instead of getting a fast bike and riding it like a jackass, and you know, in a slow manner. I'm not a very good rider. I'm getting better, but there's a lot of fear at play here. It always has. This sport is so freaking dangerous. I'm just trying to I've broken both my collarbones, guys, so I can't, well, I can afford to be down, but I would rather not. if I can eliminate broken bones and the chance of that and take less of a risk, I'm going to go with that route. I just like being on a dirt bike anyway, and you know, I don't need to be jumping 70-foot kickers and whatnot. So I am sticking with, or trying to stick with anyway, the pit bike scene and keep the CCs to a minimum. But Benny Hoodles, so this is the route that I'm planning on going with, because I really do think this is going to be the future. I have so many thoughts and ideas around this whole electric trend, I should say. There's just so much going on, and it seems like every week I hear about a new company coming out with an electric bike, and it's absolutely incredible. I mean, think about it, guys. You know, you guys have seen my buddy Aaron and his kid Colson. Colson's racing. We're trying to get him going and balling out here. He hasn't been liking the winters too much, but we're gonna get him going riding here real soon once the weather warms up here. You guys have seen Aaron, and you know, so oftentimes I go over to Aaron's place, and we'll just like sometimes just putt around the neighborhood with Colson so he can get some reps in. And it's like, you know, I'd rather be respectful around his neighbors and everybody else around and not have a super loud bike. So you're already checking that off the list of having an electric bike that you can't even hear. So, and they're just so versatile, man. You can go, and I feel like, you know, there's so many opportunities, a lot more opportunity to take these electric bikes, and you know, you don't have to go and ride these things at tracks and, you know, your illegal trailheads and whatnot. And I understand when I say that. There is a gray area right now, I guess, in the state of California. They're cracking down on these electric bikes, and I'm not sure if that's like a federal or a countrywide bill that was passed. I gotta check in with that, but I do plan on doing some street testing, just because, again, I could just take this bike into I live in a neighborhood, so I also don't want to, you know, be loud. And so it's just like, that's like one huge pro, that I feel like I could just get a lot more seat time with these electric bikes than I would with a traditional combustion engine, you know, gas dirt bike. Now, again, I have been ripping up and down the streets with my 150 and my 110, but I keep it to a minimum, because again, I want to respect, you know, my neighbors and whatnot, and they already know that I'm loud as shit. So I'd rather not do that to those guys. You know what I'm saying, man? Yeah, man. So anyways, I haven't even talked about what I got. So anyway, I bought the Electro and Company RTR, which I've done a ton of research, and it seems like that is the best electric pit bike on the market, hands down, currently. I've been following the boys Electro and Co. for a tiny amount of time now. I've seen that they built that on their property. They call it Electroland. It's pretty freaking sick. Oh man, what the crap is? Ooh, what is that? Oh, that's disgusting. So, ew. What on earth? So anyways, I've been following those guys in Electro and Co. And it seems like these guys are like constantly, you know, upgrading things, and they're constantly changing things around. And it seems like they're already coming out with mods for the bike, and it's so cool to see. I personally, I don't know what I'm going to think about this, and I don't know how, you know, things are going. I really have like a high expectation for this bike, just based on the reviews that I've done. And I really do think that for the longest time, I probably won't have to mod this bike, but I might end up doing that down the road. We'll see if I end up getting into it. Again, going back to the whole idea behind wrenching. I don't mind wrenching, but if I don't have to, yo, bro, I mean, wouldn't you rather be on the bike a little bit more than, you know, you'd have to go and wrench? I don't know. Everyone's different. Some people hardly ride and they just love wrenching. I mean, depends on what you want to do. I know a lot of people that are like that. those gearheads out there, baby. Let's go. But anyways, I want to send a huge shout out to the boys at Electro and Company. Thank you guys so much for sending this. I think I had to wait like a month or so. We're going to go out to the garage here in a bit once I get everything done here. But huge shout out to the boys over at Electro and Co, baby. And then another cool thing too, I actually didn't order the bike from Electro and Co because I wanted it with the red plastics, and I'm not sure, I haven't checked in probably like a month or so, but they had the red plastics from Electro and Co that were sold out. I think the white is pretty badass, but I preferred it in red. So I've been watching, if you guys haven't watched Ronster on YouTube, stop what you're doing right now and just go subscribe. You're not going to regret it. You're not going to be disappointed at all whatsoever. The dude's awesome. So big shout out to Ronster because he opened up a shop, an online shop called Ronster Rides. And I actually bought the bike. Oh, dude, this freaking pan, I think, is the one that's... Oh, we got to find out what's going on. I actually bought the bike. Dude, what is going on, bro? What is that? Oh, we're gonna get down to the bottom of this. I bought the bike from Ronster Rides, and it's a new shop that he's got. He's fired up. It's very new, within like a matter of like a handful of months, I believe. I could be off on that, but I bought the bike from Ronster Rides because they offered it in red, and I believe he's huge into black and red bikes. So I went with that route and just bought it from Ronster Rides just to give him some support, and then also just to, obviously, you end up spending that kind of money, might as well just get what you want. So it actually, the Electro and Company RTR is actually with tax and everything from Ronster Rides. I think it came out to like $29, which again, guys, that's cheaper than the 110 that I bought from the local Yamaha dealership. So I thought it was a no-brainer, guys. I was like, and I prefer to go out to trailheads and ride. I prefer to go out to trailheads and ride with multiple bikes because, if I'm traveling an hour or two, 2 hours, 3 hours out of my way, I don't know what this angle's all right. If I'm traveling that far out of the way, guys, I'd rather not spend a lot of that time if I have a flat or, any sort of like small to big engine problems. I would rather go and, have a bike that I can just swap out real quick. So I'd plan on this year traveling with 3 bikes. I'm going to have my, my 110. I'm going to have the RTR, and then I'm most likely going to be bringing the 150. I'm thinking about selling the 150, guys. I don't know which route I'm going to go with yet. I'm going to save that for another date. I have so many ideas. Just with everything today, in today's society, guys, it's just like there's so many freaking options with everything. It's like, I want the bike to do this. I want the bike to do that, and blah, 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 blah. And do I want to spend the kind of money while I'm trying to show you guys that you guys can do this for, I don't want to say next to nothing, but you don't have to spend as much money on this sport and keep things, have fun and keep things to a minimum. You don't need all the fancy gear. But again, that's depending on like how you want to, whether you want to ride, race, whatever you want to do. There's so many different things you can do. But the options are endless, guys. So I ended up going this route because of trendy purposes and, the versatility. And I'm honestly very interested. I have been interested for a while about this whole electric scene. I feel like it's the future, guys. It's just really, it seems like things are really going in this direction. And then you could kind of see it by like I mentioned earlier, all these different companies that are coming out with all these different bikes. Again, it seems like every time I go on YouTube, there's a new company coming out with a new electric bike. And it's just really, really, really neat here, guys. So I am really, I hope that I am going to dig this bike. And I have high expectations. I think I will. I really haven't honestly heard anybody diss this bike. And again, like, I don't have any sponsors, guys. I bought this with my own money. So I'm going to leave, but my plan is to do a bunch of different reviews on this bike. And I don't know how many parts it's going to be, because I want to show you guys that I really want to put this thing through the ringer, man. And I haven't seen a whole boatload of video on, I've seen, you know, your typical pit bike track reviews. I've seen it on the street. I think Ronster he might have did like a mini hill climb with it, but I want to show you guys what this thing is capable of doing in the tracks that I ride at. And because I ride basically everything. I ride woods, I ride pit bike tracks. Joliet, they got a motocross track that is got, you know, it's got pretty loose dirt. So I want to see how it hooks up in that loose dirt. I haven't seen anybody do a review in that aspect. I want to see with this 72 volt battery, which is impressive. You know, just that alone. I mean, it's just incredible that a small bike, they're putting 72 volt batteries from the factory, from the dealership. You don't have to mod or anything. They're all coming out with 72 volt batteries and putting these big to small bikes. It's absolutely incredible. I just want to see how that bike hooks up. And honest to God, you know, if I end up having as much fun in this thing between, you know, my bone stock 110 and this pitter, I might just sell the 150 and just keep these two bikes. I don't know. You guys leave a comment below and give me a suggestion on what you guys would like to see me ride, what you guys prefer. What, you know, is there something that you guys, you know, do you guys like electric bikes? Do you guys like gas bikes? I mean, leave a comment below. I don't know. Let's start a conversation. Let's talk some shit. Whatever, you know. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about half the time. So you guys can leave a comment on how stupid I am. You know, I deserve it. So, I mean, whatever. Let's have a good time, y'all. You know? But, so anyways, this, I don't even know if I even talked about it. I'm sitting here rambling like I usually am. This RTR, if you guys aren't familiar with it, this thing's got suspension, adjustable front and rear suspension. And I'm like, dude, instead of spending a bunch of money on mods, why not go with a brand new bike that's electric and it has everything that it needs, you know, that you need it to do. You want to race in the stock class? Well, I'm going to find out how that goes, because there's obviously a gray area there, but I'm most likely going to be racing that electric bike, the RTR, in the mod class, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, ladies and gents. Because I might have to race it with the Surons. I don't know. I haven't seen too many people, because I think this bike came out in like last October, so it's fresh. There aren't going to be too many people out of the track with this thing. So that's one. I mean, there's a million different reasons why I'm jacked to do this and start racing and riding this thing, because I like to be different, man. I want to go out there and you know, it's going to be a head turner. It's going to be a conversation piece, and I really do look forward to that aspect of just meeting new people. And you know, I'm going to have probably a lot of people wanting to ride it, and it's going to be interesting to see what their thought process is on the bike. So it's definitely going to be interesting, guys. But yeah, it's just without having to do a ton of mods. You can race the stock and mod class, and between two bikes, you know, I'm already, you know, set myself up to be able to compete in, you know, two different classes. When I say compete, I mean I don't expect to be winning races here, but you know, if I can get, like, you know, let me just say this: if I can not get last place, I'm gonna be happy. You know, I honestly, I haven't raced before, so it's gonna be pretty exciting. But I'm gonna have to probably wait a little bit, because it is what is today? February the 11th. It's cold outside, y'all. We got a big snowstorm coming in, and it's gonna be probably a little while until I could really get some solid reps at a track, or outdoor track rather. So that's why I plan on doing a bunch of reviews, and it's gonna take me a little while because of the weather and all that fun stuff. So, but I am, as you guys have been seeing, I am racing, not racing. Well, I am racing, going to race. I am riding indoors right now, and I plan on, there's the pit bike throwdown at the B52 hangar, which I plan on racing April 4th. I think it's April 4th and 5th. I think practice is the 4th and race days that Saturday. I got to take off for that. So that's no big deal, because I definitely want to make it out and make that my race debut and start really hammering on these races. But yeah, leave a comment below if you guys are planning on hitting up that throwdown. I'm beyond stoked to get out there and get racing and you know, take the pit or the 110 out and then the RTR. So I'm really anxious to see how that all hooks up. But any hoodles, I think that kind of covers everything that I wanted to talk about. I know I'm just rambling and you guys are watching me be a sloppy pig while I'm cleaning up around the kitchen. But I'm doing on time here. But yeah, so I think we're going to cut this off here. I think I mentioned everything, and we're going to head out to the garage here in a bit, hopefully. I might have to do it again in several days. And we're going to head out to the garage and do a little unboxing. So the plan is with this first video, we're going to do an unboxing, and then I might just rip it up and down the road. So do a little not like a full-blown range test, but just to get a first impression of ripping up and down the road, and you know, just checking out the throttle response. I think there's a bunch of different modes, different speeds you can put the bike into. So we're gonna kind of go through that, kind of the basics. And like I said, we're gonna make this whole review a several part series, and we'll go from there. Hope you guys enjoy. But yeah, we'll meet you guys in the garage.